Hi, today I am going to show you how to do lookup using Java mapping. In real life scenario, there is a situation where there's involvement of three or more systems and the sender system does not have the appropriate data which the receiver system requires. In that case, PI does a lookup to a third system where it can find the appropriate data which is required by the receiver system. In these cases, we do a mapping lookup. So the interface design looks something like this. Here what happens that the sender system will send the data. This data will be read by PI, and depending on this data a lookup will be made to the third system. This third system is going to give back the data to PI, which may or may not be used in the mapping program, and after the transformation, the required transformation, it will be sent to the receiver system. So this is the entire flow of the interface. Now what happens that the main flow of the interface is from sender to receiver, and the third system is the system which is providing you the data. Here if you can see, I have created two FTP servers, two FTP business components. In between we have PI, and this is the third system from where we are going to get the actual data. In this video I'll be using the third system as an eBay API. So we'll be exposing the eBay API to PI and we'll fetch the search result from eBay API and then send it to the receiver system. So the ID objects which I have used here are mentioned here. Now I'll go to the Eclipse and I'll do the programming. So I'll create a Java mapping program which is going to call this third system and fetch the required data from there. Here what I have done that I have created a class called Lookup. So as every Java mapping requires to extend the abstract transformation class, we are going to extend the abstract transformation class. So I extended the abstract transformation class. Now I'll implement the unimplemented method. Now to do lookup, we need to follow certain steps. First is to get the channel object via which we are going to do the lookup. So if you can see here, this is the channel which I'll use for the lookup. So this is a REST channel, and the business component which defines this eBay API is this BC eBay REST API. Channel is equals to lookup services get channel, and give the service name and the channel name here. So what is the service name? The service name is this, and the channel name is this. So I've given the service name and channel name. Now I'll create the payload object. This payload object will be passed into the call method. So lookup service dot get XML payload. We are going to get the XML payload. I'll prefer to change the parameter name to in and out. So get XML payload method accepts the input stream. So I created the payload. Now I'll create the system accessor. Here we need to pass the channel object, which we have already created. Now, once these three things have been created, we can do the lookup call. How do you do that? Is by using the system accessor object which we have created and the payload which we have created earlier. So I'll pass the payload object and do a call. What call method is going to return is payload object. So I'll store this payload object in a payload variable. So this will be the response payload. I'll save it. So now I have the response payload. Till now what we have done is that we have got the response payload. Now it is time to write that payload into the receiver, the output payload, which will go to the receiver system. So we are going to do that. For that, I have a helper method written, which I am going to copy paste. So what I have done, that I have written a helper method. What it does, that it converts the input stream into a string. So I'll use it here. I'll use this method to convert the response payload and store it inside a string. So I'll name that variable as response payload string is equals to convert input stream to string response payload dot get content. So I have successfully converted input stream into a string. Now what I'll do, that I'll write this string into the output payload. So out dot get output payload dot get output stream dot write response payload string dot string get bytes. So my Java mapping is complete, and it is going to do a lookup and write the data which we have fetched from the eBay API into the output payload. I'll save it and I'm going to export it. Export as jar. Finish. Yes. I exported it. Now I'll go to my ESR. ESR. And activate this object. Once I've activated it, I'll go to the communication channel. So this is the communication channel of the main ICO. If I can show you, this is the communication channel CC file sender NFS FTP send. This is stopped right now. I'm going to start it and stop it. So this is, we have got the message and it is delivered. So sender component is file sender, BC file receiver. If I open the message, okay, if I see the payload, here you will get the payload which we have received from the eBay API. So we hit the eBay API and received this data, and we have sent it to the receiver system here, which is BC file receiver. So this is how we do a mapping lookup, and this is the Java program for that. Thank you.